Greetings, sunshine. All right, I'm coming to you in a very unprecedented way because I am being charged to do it in this moment. I just came from a walk and I was listening to one of the readers I like to listen to, Divine Soul, on YouTube. And she was talking about how she's an ambivert like me, introvert, extrovert, but I prefer the introvert. But anyway, and she has been single since 2022 and decided when she kept running, or she ran to this guy a couple of times. You can go read her post from today. Anyway, okay, let me open up to relationship. And then they hung out and got along and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And then she realized, oh, he just needed my energy. And then he was done. And I was like, that's very familiar. That's everything. If you go to the video I posted yesterday about not trying to save everyone and, being an empath with boundaries. I didn't say that specifically, but that's basically what it was all about. Because I know I'm an empath. Well, I'm a former empath or an empath with boundaries or healthier boundaries. I'll put it like that. I'm putting myself first now. What about that? All that to say, I have just also listened to a message that kept popping up on my feed. And I had never listened to this young lady, another reader, about Heru having a message to those who are here now who have forgotten pretty much who you are and why you here and where you come from, your real lineage and your power and so on and so forth, and how you've been struggling during these lifetimes and stuff just wasn't working out and people were coming against you and you just couldn't understand because you come from something much higher and more loving and more, unified. And so her message just triggered this message that I'm about to get into 2 minutes later. All that to say, it just reminded me of a relationship where I allowed someone to move into my home because we were quote unquote dating. And I went into it eyes wide open, knowing, I'm going to go through a spiritual awakening. I didn't know that's what it was called, but I knew I was going through something. He even said that, like, you can come up in here and get your shit together, and then you're going to have to get out because I got something going on with me internally, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I don't know what it is, but I ain't going to have time to be doing you. And even the first day when that person showed up, the questions they were asking me about their mission and their journey of relocating to a whole different state told me, you ain't did no research for your whole life. And I knew it in the moment, like, this is not going to work. But then I've always said it was like two of me, always the one who knew better. And then the one who was like, well, but what if it was you? What would you want? Okay, don't call him out. Don't make him look stupid. I know we're old as hell in our 40s at the time. He should know better. But I was like, well, maybe we can give him assistance and guidance and the love and the support and they can get it together. And not for me, but get it together because everybody needs support and all that, right? Well, all that to say, 6 years later, I allowed that to go on. First few years, it was really good. And even the last 2 years, that person called themselves pulling back from me. So it wasn't no sex, no nothing. We didn't have like trauma and drama and arguments or anything ever. But it was more like brother, sister, who we got along really well. No sex, like I said, whatever. So, okay. But when this person finally, quote unquote, got themselves together, and I mean financially finally figured some shit out, I come home one day and it was just a bunch of crap at the house. And when I say crap, material stuff that this person went and bought from the store and was so proud of himself. I don't even remember what the crap was. That's how much I don't give a shit about crap. I'm not one of those people about material stuff for real. I'm a Pisces, moon, sun, Pisces. I am Pisces. I'm always pie in the sky, dreamer, whatever. All that to say, it just hit me and it was just devastating to my soul. It was like, after 6 years, you think after all this time that you've been around me and you know me, that this was what I wanted you to get your shit together for you to go buy a bunch of crap to impress me, stuff that I didn't even need, never talked about. I understand this person because he had a good heart in general, like a good person and all that. That's the only reason why I was able to stay around a person. That was what the initial connection was. But he had a lot of brokenness and trauma and stuff. And of course, mama wounds and all kind of stuff. So that was the trauma bonding that obviously was happening at the onset. And so I'm saying that to say, but I saw that this person still needed this approval from a mother. And then it was like I had been transferred to this mother position, and he was just so happy about this stuff that he bought. And I was sitting over there like, okay, at first I was like, I'm not going to say anything about it. But I was like, but why did you get it? Because now I'm like, I didn't want to just throw him off his game, because that's just who I am. I don't want to make people feel bad. Like, we got enough going on out there in the streets, right? And I just had to ask. And of course, he got his little feelings hurt because he's looking like, well, shit, this is what I do. I'm like, yeah, but when you finally, quote unquote, got your shit together, we were supposed to come back, have a meeting, regroup, and discuss what the new plan would be based on both of us having our shit together, not go buy a bunch of crap like that was solving something. But then that goes to show everybody's in their own mind. Everyone is on their own mission. So even though you're physically together, if you in your own mind about what your purpose and your path and your values and how you see stuff and how you want it to unfold, and then the other person is doing the same. So you're not necessarily on the same page because you're in the same atmosphere. And this person, I could tell, so I'm not demonizing or whatever, he had this thing that he needed to do in his soul. And I just happened to be the one that's there, right? And he needed to fulfill this thing that had nothing to do with me. And so I'm saying all of that to say that I also realized in listening to Divine Soul's message about energy, the last 2 years where he pulled back from me, I didn't take offense to it, but it was just like, he got the energy that he needed from me over those first 4 years to reboot himself, to revitalize himself. And then he was done with me technically, but he still needed the material, like the roof over his head and all the other stuff while he was figuring his shit out, right? So I was like, okay, I got that. This has been going on all my life. I know my purpose down here as an empath. It hasn't been fun, but then I understood. But then I also was so left in it thinking, oh, I'm not supposed to really have good things happen to me because I'm down here serving this purpose for God and whatever. There was no balance in it, right? So realizing that that was what was happening, he had used my energy and siphoned it off, not even intentionally. I'm not even saying it like it was a demonic, dark thing. It was just something he was driven by his own internal trauma and brokenness and need to do what he needed to do for him. It was not personal. Even if it became personal, I didn't take it personal, which is why he stayed around so long. And unfortunately, I have some good friends, male and female, who listen to me bitch and moan and complain about this person on a regular basis when I would get so frustrated, but I wouldn't take it to him. So it was almost immaturity, but naivete, but it was more like, I just don't want to break somebody down while they trying to build themselves up. So I was just bitching them on, even to his friends, like close friends. And I could see now deep within me, I was hoping maybe they can have a conversation and transfer this information in a way that'll motivate him to do something else, whatever that may be, right? And so that builds up to the message that I got when I was listening to another reader, a message from Heru, ancient god from Kemet, who has been, Kemet, Sekhmet, Isis, like all of those energies have been just coming around me and downloading messages over these last few months and like reminding me like, you not from here. You from someplace else. You are not from here. You have a different lineage. You came to do some spell breaking for a particular bloodline and lineage, but you're not from here. This is where you're from. And so I listened to this message because I kept passing this young lady's, I think she's called Deity Rising. So if you want to check her out, Deity Rising on YouTube. And I finally listened to it. So all that to say, I put these two messages together in my walk, and then I was already coming home to do a spiritual bath. To cleanse some stuff. I'm a Pisces, so I need some water, get some energy flowing. And in that message, in those messages, I realized, and I know, let me say I know, because I've been doing a lot of studying, I've been doing a lot of meditating, a lot of praying, a lot of, listening to other masters of, the mind and metaphysics and quantum physics and history and ancient chemistry and all of that, and how energy actually works. And so there are energy systems and entities that, like I said yesterday in the video, when you die, we are eternal, immortal beings. We are in a physical body, but we literally are energy systems. We are vibration, frequency, and resonance. And so when you say, oh, my grandmama showed up, yeah, that really happened, because they're not dead. They're just in a different form. And I remember as a child, I can see now, I ain't gonna say I remember, but looking back at my childhood and, my 20s and 30s and relationships and things that I allowed to happen to me, I can see that entities, energies would possess me at certain times and allow myself, because I didn't have my guard up, or I didn't even know to have my guard up, and would come in and allow me because they want to have this experience through me. And so I made a lot of crazy decisions and got in relationships and did stuff and was like, why am I doing it? The whole time it was almost like I'm trapped, like I should not be doing this, but I'm like still doing it. And then I knew I was strong enough that when I finally got out of it, I always overstay my welcome. I finally shut shit down, like that one relationship 6 years later, shut shit down. And I had to shut that down because he did exactly what in my heart I knew he was going to do. He did some fuck shit in an area that absolutely is a no-no. Substance abuse. I found some drugs in my house. You got to go. And it wasn't no weed, because I smoke weed. I just stopped smoking weed. But I do. Weed is my friend. I have no problem with marijuana. All that to say. And it was the one thing that this person even wrote a poem and all this stuff and made this proclamation and declaration. I'm like, oh my God, I know you went through all this in your past and I would never do it, and I'm here for you and I'm going to make things right. And you did the exact thing, but even worse. And that's how I know energy is real. And when I say real, I mean entities. So all that stuff they showing in the movies, when they going over there and, what's his name? Indiana Jones and all them. And even now they're going into these tombs and all this stuff. And the Vatican, like I said yesterday, all these documents and all this ancient information on how to manipulate energy and how to alchemize and manifest and stuff, just using pure energy to create matter and emotions and feelings and programming and mind control. That's real. It's in our face. It's throwing it in our face of what we can do. And then there is as my other reader I like to listen to, Chavez, she calls it the powers that work, because we about to shut them down. They're losing their power and their control. They know it. The contract is up. That's why they out there wilding out. I don't even watch the news, and I can feel it with every fiber of my being. It's some crazy shit going on out there in the universe that y'all probably listening to that you need to stop listening to, because it's being handled. It's being handled in the spirit world. But y'all don't need to be listening to it and trying to figure out what to do and getting all involved, whatever. All that to say that I can see how many times that energies were out to stop me, even my own mama. Because when I realized who I am, where I come from, what my real lineage is, not to say this particular lifetime I'm not from this family, but I chose to come through this family, to go through all the stuff that I went through, to have the breakthroughs that I've been having, to get to new era, new life, new roots. Go look at my other posts about all of that, or where I am in my spiritual awakening, kundalini and all that stuff, right? That they even used my mama to try to take me out in the womb because she went to go get an abortion and she couldn't do it. She don't even know why. Then they possessed her with alcoholism, and then she was one of the meanest, most terriblest people to me. Basically stomped on my throat chakra. Basically stomped on my sacral chakra to not receive. Then basically stepped out my solar plexus. And when I say don't speak, no, that ain't nothing, that's not interesting, that ain't what you're doing, literally these are words that she would say when I would express myself. Oh, you talk too much, which I probably do. I talk a lot, but guess what? I had something to say, and I still do. And it was like, I would do these fabulous things, performances or whatever. She wouldn't show up. And then if, I would try to talk about, oh, that ain't nothing, and just keep it moving, whatever. But she showed her face to my friends and people in the public like she was just this loving and kind and fun and all this other stuff, which I know that's in her. But this spirit, I can call it now at the time, spirit that was in her, because when she stopped drinking, let's say, because I left in 88, so let's say 30 years ago, whatever. I don't know this version of her, but it's like she's not that, and our relationship hasn't been the same from where she was just so evil and mean and just horrible to me. And she doesn't remember, so if I try to bring it up now, it's just like, she don't want to talk about it. And I got to the point where I don't even need that anymore. I was able to forgive, which is huge, which is why I can post what I've been posting about forgiveness. Because if I can forgive, anybody can damn forgive, right? And so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So I'm saying all of that to say that I am able to see and have been able to see since I've been on this freedom pilgrimage coming back to my hometown after 34, 35 years being away and intentionally not dealing with stuff. Energy doesn't die. And I was led here, and I don't know if you listen to the story on other video. I was led back to this place through a cardinal. My dad is a cardinal. He passed away in 2018. St. Louis Cardinals is his mascot. That's his favorite team. So I had to finally start paying attention and realize, oh yeah, okay, he's trying to tell me something. And all that to say, got me to St. Louis, someplace I didn't want to be. Thought I was going to be here for a couple of months. It's been over a year and a half. Because it was like, oh, I got smacked in the face, walked in the lion's den, and had to deal with a lot of stuff that I actually left here energetically and reclaimed my creativity, my voice, my power, my value, my worth. Because when I escaped and fled here, literally packed up my car, quit my job, didn't have a job there, had one paycheck, didn't have a place to stay, didn't know what I was going to do. I was using the phone on Krispy Kreme parking lot on Ponce de Leon in Atlanta. That's no longer there, the Krispy Kreme. As my phone to get jobs, day to day, week to week temp jobs. And then I created this wonderful, beautiful life and have a wonderful, beautiful family through my godchildren and my besties and my friends who are family and so on and so forth. So it's been a good journey. But whenever I thought about home and 314 area code, it was always misery and sickness and disease and all this other stuff. And it was like I was just mad and hatred and all this stuff for people. I'm like, but I don't want to hate them because they ain't doing nothing. It's like they're possessed by something. Something wasn't right with the disease and mental illness and all this stuff. But I just, yeah. Anyway, so I came back and I had to release that energy, pick up this energy that I did leave. And then I started having all these memories and flashbacks of stuff. And God is good because obviously me having memory loss saved my life to be able to have a life in Atlanta. Because people are telling me stories. Carla, remember that time? And remember that time? And I ain't really hanging out with a lot of people, but the few that I am, they're telling me these long, elaborate stories that I should absolutely remember. But I shut that shit down and shut all this down just to have a normal-ish life, right? And so I'm saying that to say, y'all, check your energy. You can love on folks. You can be friends and families, but we have got to have healthy boundaries. And it goes beyond the attitudinal, like, they ain't gonna do that. No, we gotta go beyond human. This is spiritual. This is energetic. This is etheric. You gotta protect your mind. You gotta protect your heart. You gotta protect your soul. You gotta protect your body. Because stuff is going on around us all the time. Some people know how to read minds. Some people know how to plant seeds and cast spells, and they've been doing it for a long time. And we sitting around here all night like, That's why all those movies are what they are. That ain't no joke. That is not a joke. This is real. So you have to figure out another way outside of church Christianity to go within yourself and figure out who you really are. Because I remember in 2019, I want to say, this was after that person, got kicked out a year prior. Yes, I kicked it out because when I saw that stuff, I wasn't fighting, I wasn't arguing. I was just like, I found your stuff and you got to get out. And I even packed the shit up, put his shit out and all that, put it in the corner so he can get the hell out because that's just who I am. And I'm saying that, so all that to say that, I asked, and out of frustration one day, what is my frequency? I had no idea why the hell I said that. That was the first time I even thought like that. And my whole life changed from that very moment. Went down this rabbit hole. Spiritual awakening, dark night of soul, shadow work, got into epigenetics and how to rewire your brain and how to go looking at your past and your traumas and how it stores itself in your body, and that's how you get sick and ill and have diseases and, you know, trauma bonding and like all these other things. And a lot of stuff happened between now and then that I still would go back and forth because I'm still thinking, oh, I can hold on to old energies. And it's like, no, you got to let stuff go and try to reclaim friendships from way back in the day. And it was just like, oh shit, okay, I'm not that no more, but they can't be with me because I'm not that, and I can't be with them because I'm not that anymore. And it's opposed to being mad and trying to look down on them, they were looking down on me because I didn't want to be a certain way. And it was just like, so I'm saying, do your energy work, y'all. The game has changed. The energy has changed. Stuff is shifting. You got to wake up. This ain't about dollars, cents, the dollar collapsing. It goes way beyond that. You're going to collapse if you do not understand who you are from the inside out. Connected to the divine. I ain't talking about Jesus Christ. Jesus was not even, it's a concept. It's a metaphor. Christos, Christ is a consciousness. The Bible, again, was metaphysics. It's in metaphors of telling you how to tap into your natural powers and energy that they've been doing since the beginning of time, since they've been over there in Kemet. And they didn't call it Judaism and Jewish stuff and Greek and stuff. They have all just translated that stuff into their shit like it's theirs. And when it's supposed to be for all mankind, not just for a certain group of people. And then they kept the melanated ones ignorant. We have been so ignorant to who we are just in the basics of our beingness. So energy's been running us and possessing us. Even that schizophrenia and bipolar. No, those people are just more tapped in to other energies and spirits. And because they don't know how to regulate and understand it, some people ended up doing things that they had no idea that they even did remember doing because the energies possess them. They come and go, and some actually take residence. This is not fantasy. This is not some woo-woo. This is not, I done gone crazy. Go check the records. This has been going on since the beginning of time. You have got to read between the lines. Stop bamboozling and hoodwinking yourself and then putting it out there in the like they're doing it to you. Now is the time. You know better. So go find out better. Because once you actually say it out loud to the universe, who am I? Show me. What am I supposed to be doing? The universe, God, creator, mama universe, papa universe, whatever you want to call it, source, life force, is going to answer you. But it is a process. Because we've been under this colonized mind, under this quote unquote human mind, because we're light and spirit in a dense human body. But we've been allowing the human body to dictate how the light is supposed to operate, and it's supposed to be the other way around. You do have to have boundaries. Like I said, it's going to be etheric boundaries, spiritual boundaries, energy boundaries, being more mindful. I don't care if you stand on the corner at the bus stop, or if you're in the store or in your relationship, you have to have energetic boundaries so folks can't just get all up in your system and then you feeling some kind of way and don't know why you feeling some kind of way. And you acting in ways that goes against your own grain. So that goes back to me, like, authenticity is spiritual. Authenticity is spirituality. Coming back to your core. You are a master manifester. You are a master alchemist. We're supposed to be able to be creating without having to physically, I got my crystals, touching stuff and whatever. Like, there is a way to get back to that. And the energies have shifted. We about to have an eclipse. Because you see over the last few years, they throwing all these false suns up and stuff. Who the hell creates the sun? People who know who we are. And they trying to keep us down. This new eclipse on April 8th, powerful. It's about to radiate another energy and activation in your DNA. We don't have two strands of DNA. They created us that way after centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and cloning and manipulating our genetics. But your original We're supposed to be the 12 to 24 strands. You know how much information and data that is? That's from the beginning of time. They call it Akashic records of who you are and what you have available. And in meditation, centering your chakras, your third eye, your pineal gland, which is calcified with the water and the fluoride and a whole bunch of stuff. You're supposed to use your mind. That is the stage for your imagination, where God connects you etherically to create and manifest the very things that you want. How you think Elon Musk is doing what he's doing? That's just one example. They all doing it. All them signs and symbols y'all caught up with the celebrity and Illuminati. They using them to throw you off. They using them damn celebrities like puppets. Get your mind off of them. Don't nobody care about what they doing. Yeah, they got money, but they ain't got money. So what if they got money? They don't have their souls? They don't have their souls anymore. As soon as they get out of line, because y'all want to act like Kanye crazy, as soon as they want to get out of line, you see what they do. They throw a monkey wrench in the whole program, try to act like they psychotic, they emasculating the men, and look what they doing to the women, and who they doing it to? The melanated ones. You don't see the Caucasian ones out there with the ass all up in the air. It's us. Stop it. And I'm not doing this out of judgment. I'm doing this from love. This is where this is coming from, love, because enough is enough is enough. The truth just set me free and set y'all free. And that's why I'm making this video, because as I was about to get in this tub, again, the message kept saying today, and now is the time for you to declare and make your proclamation about who you are. You are a goddess. From the beginning of time, they got caught up in this thing, and you had to go through this thing to have this very breakthrough, so that people can listen to you and hear, and then go within themselves and find themselves and wake up. And I'm here for it. Proudly. I've always known this. I couldn't understand. I was like, trap. And you know it too. This message is going to trigger somebody, and I know it. That's why I was sent to record this in the middle of my bath, in the middle of my spiritual bath. So I know I'm talking with fervor, because it's coming from every ancestor who is around me and through me right now. Like, yes, now is the time. They try to take my whole fucking family out with disease and mental illness and just despair and unworthiness and lack and all that shit. And I'm like, why are they acting like that? That's why I left St. Louis. It was like the whole town was like The Walking Dead. And I'm saying it in a loving way, like I'm talking about dreams and goals, and everybody like, yeah, but just, stay on your job and go to school. And I'm like, but, so I had to get the hell out of here. Like, it was suffocating me. Then I come back home and they still like just an older version of it. I ain't saying everybody. I ain't saying the whole city. I'm saying what I'm saying. And it was traumatizing to see people like, oh my God, so 35 years later, you really bought into the thing, and look where your life is. But you still can wake up. And I want to save everybody and get healthy and eat right. When I used to talk about my, eating as a vegetarian, everybody looking down on me, frown up in my plate. I ain't even got the flesh on it. And I ain't even talking about that you shouldn't even be eating flesh. The reason why I stopped eating meat is because of what the man was doing to the meat, not the meat itself. How they were producing it. And now they're manufacturing food. They're not even letting it grow and animals be animals. So your whole system is off. You're picking up the diseases of the animals, and you wonder why you got inflammation and arthritis and, your teeth falling out, and you got this ache, you got this pain, and then you got traumas that are residing in your system. Those are energy systems. If you don't process that stuff out, it shows up as masses in your body. In your kidneys, your liver, your lungs. They call it cancer. It's all just inflammation. They give it fancy names. How we live in a country with the biggest healthcare system. It's a health scare system. I wasn't even trying to get into this, but let me say it. We got the biggest healthcare systems around, but we still got the most sickest people in the whole planet. Something ain't right, y'all. You know it. Stop playing. Take responsibility for your life. Get authentic. Do your research. Even organic ain't even organic no more at the store. I go to the grocery store, my body damn near just stopped even vibrating because I walk up in there, even in the produce section, and your body's supposed to vibrate and tell you what it needs. Because we so disconnected. We got the 5G, we watching TV, we doing whatever. We are not even feeling our own vibration. It's how we communicate with one another. That's how you fell in love and you have that energy. Now we don't even have our own pheromones because we putting on all these colognes and all these soaps and all this unnatural stuff that's blocking our own pheromones, and you wonder why you got with that dude or you with that low vibration chick. That's why. Get to you some natural oils or nothing at all. Stop putting all that crap, scrubbing and you rubbing, you using the soap, and then you opening your pores, and then you rubbing it in the lotions and all the other stuff with all these chemicals, and your body don't know how to process this, but it's going to come up with something. It's going to give you something. You're feeling some kind of way. People got migraines and headaches and women with fibroids. That is not normal. That is not a norm. That is not a thing. Fibroids should not be a thing. So, I don't know what else I got to say because I'm about to kick this bath. Know that I love y'all for real. I mean this with every fiber of my being. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. The veil has been lifted, like I said, for myself individually. There are other folks out here, they talk about the age of Aquarius and all that. You can joke about that if you want to and woo-woo and whatever. But there is a thing, with astronomy and astrology and the stars and your birth chart and all that means something. We're 75% water. The moon affects you. The moon moves the entire ocean. It creates tides. How would you not think it has some effect on you? We are made up. This human body is made up of the earth, all the elements, air, water, fire. What's the other one? Air, earth, wind, fire, water, something else. Whatever, that one. And your ether though, but your ether with the elements. And all this stuff affects you. The sun, that's how we get energized. Why do you think they got all the chemtrails blocking out the sun half the time? I want to see what's going to happen on April 8th when we have this eclipse, which they also tell you not to watch the eclipse. That's a damn lie too. You can watch the eclipse with your eyes. Because people, when you see it, you're going to see water droplets and all kind of stuff because it's empowering you. It's boosting your energy, your natural vitality within. Stop falling for the okie doke. And I'm not talking down and I'm not yelling at. This is my heart and soul coming out. I can't take no more because now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. New era, new life, new roots. It's 180-degree north node bound. Run to your life. You have dreams and goals that you came to this planet to fulfill and alchemize and manifest within your own power from the inside out. Not wait till the money show up. No, you create it without the money. You make the money show up, or you make whatever it is. That's where your power lies. That's what they don't want you to know. And when I say they, you can fill in the blank. Some in your family, because we all bought into some conditioning and schooling and concepts and constructs and frameworks and all this stuff that we really think in morals and religion that we think that that's who we are. It's not. That's called control. Because when you live by the laws of Maya and universal law, and then what I like to now, what has been given to me, spiritual commerce, you don't need those kind of laws. You don't need no policing you all the time. Because you're going to be living from your heart, and you're going to be living, thinking and feeling and having grace and love for the next person next to you. You won't even think about hurting and harming someone. They rather for us to have guns and weapons. They planting guns and weapons, especially in St. Louis. They got the open weapons to shit. People walking around with stuff if they want to. And then they out here putting it with, and down here in the hood with these little brothers and sisters down here, the melanated ones. They would rather for them to have weapons than the power of their own mind, the knowledge of who they really are as gods and goddesses. We are God incarnate in one big old soup that we come out individually, seemingly as a unique emanation of God so he can have this experience. Not judging us, unconditional. That's why you got dark and light and bad stuff happening that we don't like and good stuff happen. But we can alchemize that by being neutral and unconditional. That's the real thing. Because if he wasn't unconditional, half the shit you done, you wouldn't even be here. He would have wiped that ass out. Think about it. So realign yourself. Get it together. Forgive yourself first. Mind your own life. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Live your goals, live your dreams, fix your traumas, fix your mindset, get your mind right, get your body healthy again, make choices for you. Even if you got to go left and everybody going right, you're going to be a beacon of light for them to turn back around eventually. And if they don't, that's okay too, because you still need to live your life. That's what we came here to do. Not try to force people to be what we need them to be. So, again, I proclaim and declare I know I'm a goddess and I have supernatural powers. But I'm going to use my powers for good, which is why I know I have them. Because the people that God knows that ain't going to do it right, because that's why the powers that were getting shut down, because they have been using it for evil and oppression and making people feel powerless. But I have proven myself. I know my heart. I know my soul. I know my spirit. And God has watched me. And he was like, now is the time. I know I can trust you. So become trustworthy. Become trustworthy. You got to trust yourself. Become trustworthy. With love, integrity, all that good shit. All right, y'all, for real. I got to go. Know that I love you. Elevate the good. Think the good. Do the good. Be the good. Live the good. All things good. Even that phrase, the name Elevate the Good, came to me when I was going through my dark night of the soul. Even the way the logo looks. I wasn't no graphic artist. Everything was given to me in divine. Wake up in the middle of the night. Write this down. Open your computer. Write this in. All that shit. That's what's happening to you and you're ignoring it. Spirit is always guiding you toward your highest and your best. Follow it. Follow it. And you notice it starts with think the good. Everything starts in the mind. That's why they got TV programming. They program the mind because they know if they got your mind, you don't have time to be trying to come up with your own way of doing stuff. So, know that I love you. Please be at peace with this message. Pass it on, because this is real. This is not just from Carla. This is not just from the human side. This is not even from my healing self. This is directly from spirit through me channel, because we all channels, we're all satellites, we're all lights, we're all beacons. Just be clear about that. But you got to be clear about what you're channeling. So know that this is a direct channel from God with love, from me, through me, to you, because he knew I would do it. Because again, I'm trustworthy. He knew I would do it. And I don't mean he. The universe. Mama universe, that's a whole nother thing. We're going to talk about all that. Mama universe, because she's the only one who can create anything. That's just, we don't get into that later. But know that I love you. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Go into meditation. Even if you've never meditated, just be still, be quiet, ask the right questions, pull out a journal, light some candles, do something to settle yourself. Watch the music that you're listening to, because the frequency of the music is on that 440, that they didn't change it from 432, which is your natural frequency with your bodies. That's why the music got people all jacked up. This program been going on for centuries, y'all. This been before I got here. But we shutting it down. And that's why collectively we have got to come together and create a new energy field that is going to alchemize and transmute and transform this shit that we've been under for a long, long time. Because I couldn't understand in 88, like, why are my parents wanting me to live a life like they've been living when I have opportunity to do something else? And then here we are in 2024, I'll be looking at parents like, why are you grooming your children to live a life that you lived? And it's 2024, we're supposed to be progressing, evolving, innovative. No, go to school, get a job. Do what these people say. You know, got teenager shit going to work. Like old ass people. Because I want them to be ready. You just instilling fear. Where is their empowerment of go create a thing? I asked one of my godchildren. So what is it that you actually do besides consume? I didn't say these words. But I said it more like, what is it that you do? I know I said I was going to get off. But let me just say this one thing about over consumerism. Because that's what we train to do. Program to do. What is it that you actually do and create from the inside out, from your own imagination that you enjoy, that brings you like, yeah, I did that. And she looking all confused. She looked all confused. She looked all confused because she was just, I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm on my phone. I'm gonna talk to my friends. I'm gonna, go buy some stuff. I'm gonna eat the thing. But just to sit there and be creative, to draw or write or sing a song or whatever new thing. And she, the next day, from my understanding, was upset because what she heard me say was, she ain't doing shit, she ain't smart, she not intelligent, she ain't about nothing. I never said one of those things. I just asked a question and she went into that whole thing, and that's a part of the programming. Just constantly get you questioning yourself. I just was trying to be more encouraging because I just like fucking around and finding out and doing a lot of different shit just to see what can come out of me. And that's what we came to do. And that part has been shut down. So let the kids be what they gonna be. Not what you used to be. Not what you need them to be. They're not you. You're just a vessel they came through. Thank you for bringing them here, but let them be. That's why I look at these kids who are now fucking adults with whole entire industries. Skateboarding is a thing. What is it? Snowboarding is a whole industry. They now in the damn Olympics. Gaming. Video gaming. They making millions by playing video games. Who are we to judge them? They didn't want to go to school, but guess what? They got whole industries. Allow your kids to be what they came here to be. You are not the boss of them. One of the godmothers of my 6 godchildren, one thing I always loved about her and her husband before they had kids and the whole time, these are not my children. These are God's children. He sent them through me to help groom them to be who they are from the inside out. And them some bad motherfuckers, all 6 of them. And now they all got so many damn talents, it overwhelms them. Literally, they get overwhelmed because they can do so many different things. It's a beautiful thing. And they can make money from all of them, and they actually do. And ain't none of them really trying to go get no job for real. And when they go get a job, it's because, we live in a society and a system. They kind of, throw monkey wrenches and obstacles, but we can get around that. But I admire them. I look up to them. I be trying to keep up with them. They be coming up with all kind of businesses and talents and artistry and products and just stuff they come from out of nowhere. Their soul and their spirit. That's what we're here to do. I made a list. It was 53 things on one video. I said it's like 54 things I've done, and that's just stuff I got paid for, not including just stuff I fuck around and find out to do. Because life is interesting. I don't want to just do one thing. For the ones who do that, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who are frustrated, who signed up, did the thing, and then frustrated and realizing, I got my back up against the wall. I don't like this shit. I don't want to do this shit. Why am I doing it? Oh, because it was comfortable. I even worked with a young lady some years ago. She was an accountant. She was like, girl, I wish I was more like you. Because I was like a temp in the office. I wish I was like you and do some stuff. I got some stuff I want to do. I'm like, why aren't you? Well, I already spent all the money and paid my student loan back. Okay, and you can still go live your life. You ain't got to be an accountant just because you paid for it. Go do something else. That's a trap. That's a trap in itself. That is a trap. Get out of it. You the only one can get yourself out of it. Again, it's an inside job. Only you can change your mind and do something different. Okay. Whew. All right. I think I'm done for real. Love y'all. Peace and love.